The first tool that we're going to learn about is LinkedIn and how to use LinkedIn for a passive job search. There are actually two ways that job candidates can use LinkedIn. One is for an active job search, and the second is a passive job search, and that's what this course is about. So we are not going to be covering how to use a paid premium account to bypass the gatekeeper or run a connection campaign, which is free, but it is an active job search method. We are going to be focusing specifically on how to optimize your profile to get calls for jobs without applying, or in other words, perform a passive job search. To optimize our profile, we have to understand how recruiters use LinkedIn to find job candidates so that we can change our profile and be found for the jobs that we want. Before we move on, I just wanted to take a moment here and show you the testimonials that LinkedIn uses to promote LinkedIn Recruiter. I took a screenshot of it because it says it all about this function. So a recruiter is trying to decide whether they want to buy the recruiter function from LinkedIn. And they have two quotes here from two different users. The first one is Victoria Inman. She's a consultant with JB Consulting. I don't even know who that is, but the point is, her quote is, "It's been a great way of connecting with qualified passive candidates." This is what we're trying to do. We're making you a great qualified passive candidate with these techniques. And then Richard down below says, "This is a great tool. I've had success in many verticals and with a variety of talent," meaning he's not just searching maybe for IT talent, he could be looking for talent in all sorts of ways. And these are people who are not necessarily applying for jobs. They're trying to source qualified talent that are not even applying. This is just a great representation of how the systems are being used by recruiters to search for candidates like you. Okay, so what we're about to look at are the instructions that LinkedIn gives to recruiters on how to search for candidates in the LinkedIn system. The first thing that LinkedIn tells recruiters to do is to search for their candidate by typing in job title or relevant keywords. Then, when they get back a ton of results, they tell them to narrow down by location and industry. Then there's rank or years of experience, meaning do you want a coordinator, a manager, a director, or do you want someone with 1 to 2 years of experience, etc. When a recruiter clicks on the profile of the person that LinkedIn has produced as a match to their search terms, it shows a highlight of all the search terms, denoting the importance of keyword and title in developing your profiles. In other words, what is most important on your resume and profile are titles and keywords. These are just the most important things to even come up as a match. Then comes zip code, industry, rank, and years of experience. Let's take a closer look at the LinkedIn Recruiter interface. This is a screenshot, and I'm sorry it's not as clear. I pulled this off the internet. And essentially this is LinkedIn's typing, not mine. It says, for example, say you're looking for a sales rep with SaaS experience. That's software as a service experience. First you type in search terms like you always do in LinkedIn Recruiter. Then click on the Show More Advanced Filters button at the bottom of the search box. Okay, so let's take a look here. Right here, and we see recruiter. This is the recruiter function that you never see, but that recruiters are using to find candidates like you. First, sales. So we're looking for a sales rep, and then we're looking for software as a service. And this also gives you an indication of the type of people that are most commonly searched in. They're looking for technical people. IT technical skills is very common for recruiters to use LinkedIn. All right, now we have the whole country of the United States that they're searching. Now, we need to narrow that down. I mean, look at this. When they just do sales and the software as a service in the United States for any years of experience, they get 445,000 results. Just imagine trying to find a candidate off of that. You've got to narrow it down as a recruiter. So what do they narrow it down by? The postal code. Look at this. Within 10 miles. More than likely, I think this will probably be within 30 miles because that's the most common setting a recruiter will use. Then company, this is probably not the most likely unless they're looking for a direct competitor to who they are. Then we have job title. Oh yeah, They are going to be putting job title in there. And then this is hugely important, years of experience. Are they looking for someone who's a new grad? Someone that has a couple years experience that they can get inexpensive and train? Or are they looking for someone that's experienced or executive level or manager level? This is so telling on what we need to do with our profile. So I wanted to show you some more advanced filters, and I apologize that the screenshot is not as clear as I would like. But this really gives you that idea of what the most common filters are that the recruiters are using. Company, job title, years of experience, industry, function, here's profession, which this gets into something interesting later on. Seniority, this will be judged by years of experience, or rank. And rank is title, like is it manager, coordinator, executive, and then education. When you get into technical stuff, education is hugely important. If they would need a programmer, they're going to want to see a computer science degree, or if they're looking for a chemist, they're going to need to see chemist-oriented degrees. So these are very important to understand how you're being searched for. So now we know the key to getting found on LinkedIn are keywords, titles, zip code, and years of experience. You only have so much control over your rank, so these are the four most important. Now, those were the aspects of just getting found. Once you're found, we need to have a great headline, a great picture, and the rest of the profile also becomes important, of course. We had to corroborate what we're saying. Your volunteer and other experience is less important because recruiters that use LinkedIn initially need you to, first of all, surface and come up as a qualified candidate. And the profile needs to match their skill expectation. So those skill highlights, those keywords. Then they contact you for a physical resume or a phone screen. So filling out some of the lengthier parts of your LinkedIn profile are just not as quite as important as other things. Okay, it's time to move to the LinkedIn profile video tutorial. For the tutorial, I actually used one of my clients, Lisa's, information, and I created a dummy account for myself so that I'm going to use her information, and then you can see an account created from the bottom up. After we're done with LinkedIn, we're going to need to talk about the job boards. As important as LinkedIn is, job boards and niche industry recruiter job boards are even more important. I have to tell you that I am still getting calls regularly from this mock profile I did using someone else's information but my contact information. I'm still getting calls from this profile today. So this works, and it's not necessarily LinkedIn. We've got to tap those job boards. If you want a great passive job search campaign, or even an active one, you cannot ignore the final step of the job boards. But first, let's see how to optimize a LinkedIn profile so that it gets calls for the jobs that we want. So now it's time for the video tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to cover how to optimize LinkedIn for a passive job search.